Well, we've made a lot of changes this winter. We're getting ready for a pancake breakfast with the Italian-American war vets this coming Sunday, and a coast down at the Chrysler Proving Grounds in Chelsea, Michigan, where we're going to do a coast down and EPA dyno testing on the vehicle. You can see in here some of the changes that we've made. We took out the rear battery box, cut them out completely. That was 12 of the cells, and we widened the center backbone. Dad and I cut that out and made new side panels and made it so we could put 3 across the center. You really can't see them right now running to the front. So we could put all those batteries from the back into the center console. And then Dad also reestablished Voodoo Steve in his position. After we cut out the battery boxes, he became a little unstable, so we had to reinforce him with some plastic, and then George came in and carpeted around him for us. And then Dad and Matt, Nick and Matt, made the battery box lids for us as well, the hold-down lids. There's also a secondary lid that goes over that. That's the primary lid that will be sealed. It's a hold-down and a seal for the top of the batteries. The secondary lid isn't done yet. Dad was working on it for about a weekend, and there's 2 of them. There's a front and a rear section, and he incorporated cup holders into them this time. Once I get the other panels that we made trimmed down, these fit over the center support structure, slide down into place. Also, George and Matt worked a lot on the doors. Matt's been reinstalling the door hardware, which is it sounds easy, but it's not. It's a pain in the butt on a custom vehicle because nothing works the way it's supposed to. So he worked on that for about a day, and George and Matt also trimmed out unnecessary material from the door that we had put in from the original build, smoothed it, shaped it, and then put carpeting on it and the top of the car. As we move forward, let's see what else has been done in here. Well, it's kind of hard to see up front, but there's some reflective material right here. It's Dynamat, probably see that on there. We're trying to reduce some of the noise that we get from the electric motor. Dad installed that for us. We also put in new wheel bearings. Our old ones were less than stellar. So I took those over to Thomas's shop, and he helped us press those in. Only took, I don't know, about half a day because they're very delicate bearings that we got for it. But I shouldn't say that delicate. They're special. Very special bearings, low rolling resistance, and you have to be careful with them because they're very expensive to replace. But they seem to work great. As we move forward, you'll probably see a bunch of changes around the front of the car and in the motor bay. First thing you're going to notice on the front of the car is we've removed the external bumper. It now just has an internal structure for impact. It still meets the FMVSS requirements. We've simply moved the bumper from outside to inside, and we have an access hole here and here that goes to that metal structure. That's so we can take a 1/2-inch eye bolt and screw it in and either tow the vehicle or tie it down during our dyno testing. Jen worked on this for us after we left her some big holes. She filled the holes and bondoed them and smoothed them and sanded, and then she primed and painted some more and clear coated, and I don't know how all that works. So of course, and then on top of doing the web page and all of our updates and that kind of stuff, and video taping right now, she's telling me to hurry up. We were going to try replacing the headlights. That didn't work so well, but you can see under the hood how a lot of things have cleared up. Nate's going to talk to you in a minute. We cleared up some of the wiring that we don't need anymore. Originally, we had taken everything outside the car and run it to a 12 volts in a box we had out here, and then had relays and switches and all kinds of really cool things, and an AC system over here. We've gotten rid of the AC system. We've gotten rid of the external gray boxes. All those 3 big boxes now are in this one little one.
Well, we did a lot of changes over the winter. I didn't want to rewire the car, but we didn't need all this stuff anymore. We got the DAS and some of the stuff for the X Prize, and if you are familiar with the project and you look under the hood, you'll notice there's a lot of things that aren't there anymore. We had our wiring all run up here for the E-Vision and our ground fault detection and our relays. Well, we moved a lot of those under the dash since they're low power 12 volt systems, and I just cleaned up a lot basically. There's a lot of stuff we don't need anymore just to drive and operate an electric vehicle. If you move into the car, you can see some other things that I've done. I took our center panel and rewired it. It has 2 connectors now, so it can be easily removed. And I did the same thing with our dash. And because originally we had to disconnect all the gauges separately, so I made a wiring harness to hook everything together with 2 easy connections. And other than rewiring the battery box, now that we have both of our power access for the high power out the front, you can't really see it because the inverter and the DC to DC converter in front of it, but they're back there. And if you really want to get shocked, you can reach in there and dig around a little bit, and you might find a way to get yourself shocked. We also turned our DC to DC converter around so we don't have the wires hanging off the front. And we installed some new power leads for our inverter, and they're secured underneath here, running conduit, and basically just cleaned it up. Had a lot of wires to remove. Thanks.